This show is brought to you in part by viewers like you who joined a Patreon or become YouTube members. Thank you. And if you could, hit the like button and subscribe if you want more Browns-focused content. The Browns have drafted and brought in a lot of wide receiver projects over the years. And a lot of these projects come, go, you don't really think much of them, right? David Bell, Anthony Schwartz, came, gone. Some moments there of success, but for the most part, pretty, unfortunately forgetful tenure in Cleveland. And that has been a sticking point amongst a lot of fans of the frustration that some of the fan base has over the development of these players. There's one player who's been a little different in some good ways, in some bad ways. And that player is Cedric Tillman. He is the one wide receiver they have brought in that I can't put my thumb on, because on some days and on some plays, I see an incredibly talented guy who will be successful the day that everything lines up for him. When he gets good quarterback play, he gets a solid offensive line that gives him a little bit of time to be found, and then he gets good health. He gets that trifecta of things. I think he could be a 1,000-yard wide receiver. But he hasn't done enough for me to be confident that that potential is truly there enough to bet on it. He reminds me a lot of where David Njoku was in the early part of his career. See, if you don't remember, David Njoku, his career arc went up, down, flat line for a couple of years and then popped back up. You're like, oh, wow, David's good. That feels like what's going on with Cedric Tillman. A shaky start to his rookie year. Didn't know the playbook. Second year, it was nice, but he gets injured in the middle of it. And then this year, it's been up and down. There's been some really nice moments there, but he hasn't been able to stay healthy long enough. The Browns' offensive line isn't good, and the quarterback play isn't good. So I think, for my money, Cedric Tillman is one of the most interesting guys on the Cleveland Browns roster. And he's the one guy in that wide receiver room that I don't know what to do with, right? Jerry Jeudy, I think, is just playing out of position as the number one receiver of this team. And I think it's hard to get the ball to Jerry Jeudy when your offensive line is not good. So I can understand his struggles to a point. Cedric Tillman, I don't even know if he's really struggling versus if he's just not getting the ball or not getting opportunities or not just out there because he's injured or something. I don't think he finished the game on Sunday. So we'll see if he plays this upcoming week. But I want to start this video out by talking about Cedric Tillman, because what we're going to do today is look at Cedric Tillman's targets over the last two games since he's come back and try to get a feel for what Cedric is as a football player, what his potential can be, and where our hopes for Cedric should be over the next couple of weeks. Now, before I do that, I got to thank my sponsor, Sleeper. Real quick, just want to let you guys know Sleeper has a new offer here. They're offering a free $20 entry, no deposit required. And also, if you're a first-time user, you also will receive a 100% match on up to $100 when you use the promo code WORSTTAKE. Again, $20 free, no deposit required. Plus, first-time users also receive 100% deposit match up to $100. Join Sleeper. It's real easy to write off Cedric Tillman for some fans because the numbers have not been amazing from him, but I think availability has more to do with that than anything. Last year, if you per 17 game his numbers, he was on track for 1,000 yards. This year, he showed a lot of flashes of being potentially a pretty solid wide receiver. We're going to look at his targets and see if there's a lot there. This is a play against the Jets. And the term medicine ball gets misused a lot, but I think this one, not medicine ball, hospital ball, gets misused a lot. This one is more of that variety, right? You can see Dylan throws this one high. It requires him to expose his chest to the linebacker. You get that classic crunch there over the middle. That's a tough ball to catch. But you see Cedric Tillman does a really good job getting to that ball here. He even hand fights here on the outside. He's at the top of your screen. Little hand fighting. Let me highlight him so you guys can see. All right, so right here at the top of your screen, little hand fighting here at the beginning of the play. Gets outside the leverage he wants. A nice little push there to get out, and then he shields off with his body, gets up, catches with his hands, which has been a problem with him. He used to be a body catcher, but catches with his hands, absorbs the contact. That's exactly what you want to see in that situation from him. That's like some of the stuff you see from when you're like, man, he could be really good. He had another, I think he almost caught a ball in this same game where you're like, dude, Cedric Tillman, like, actually a really, really good wide receiver. Like, he's the project that we have at wide receiver. 99.9 of the guys that the Browns have on wide receiver, if they cut him, like they cut Gage Larvin, I'm not going to be losing sleep over that. But Cedric Tillman, I'm like, hey, that guy could be somebody. And he showed flashes of being somebody. It's just we haven't been able to get consistency from him for one reason or the other. Cedric Tillman's going to be in this play here. He's right here. Let's watch him. He gets a target. So again, this is a good route by Cedric. He's open, but again, bad quarterback play means that this ball goes behind him and really should have been intercepted. But it kind of just caught the DB off guard, which happens. That's why he plays DB. And, you know, it bounces harmlessly on the ground. But it's a good route there. Dylan also, for the life of him, never peaks at that wheel route. I'm just going to give up on him ever doing that. This is not a Dylan Gabriel film breakdown, but just looking at this play, man, that happens so much with him. He never peaks at the wheel. I'm wondering if that's a coaching point. I don't know. Somebody's going to look at that wheel one day and throw it. I'm going to be happy. But Cedric Tillman, good route here. He's open. Just the ball doesn't get to him, right? When we talk about a wide receiver's lack of production, how do you account for that in his stat sheet? You know, is there a yards he probably should have got if the ball was better stat? Probably not. So again, another play where, like, I don't think the ball did him any favors here. It's a one-on-one shot. But the ball's just out of play here. Maybe if this ball's a little closer, Cedric has a chance to come down with it, but we really just don't get to see the opportunity. And that's what it feels like with Cedric, is like a lot of missed opportunities to really see how good of a wide receiver he is. He's constantly getting separation, you know. Right here, Dylan gets this ball to him. He's shown some potential as a guy who could be good at yak. This one's not one of those examples, but 3rd and 6, gets to the 10. All right, this is the Baltimore game. He had a couple of really nice catches here. So let's start this one out here. Let's actually highlight him so we can see. Has Kyle Hamilton on him. Does a really good job running sideways, and look at the catch here. So again, just get to your spot here, right? Just over its levels. Maintains his area of the field. He's drawing away. We've seen this play be ran very terribly in the preseason before. But look, level, and then up. I think 40's man falls. Yeah, so Harold Fainin, he gets pretty jammed up here by that linebacker. He just takes the space, expands, gets the ball here. Great throw. It's a really great throw. I shat on Dylan about that, missing that wheel route earlier, but got to give him credit here. Really solid throw here on the run, and he takes a big hit. Really solid throw. Look at that. Woo. Good throw. Great catch. Good execution there. Next play here. Again, it's 1st and 10. It's a really nice throw here. And a good route, right? Nice little stutter step here. What they're trying to do with this bunch here. Right, you see how they got 3 wide receivers here. They're trying to cause confusion, so he does a little stutter here at the beginning to kind of cause some confusion. Does a great job stopping here, feels that linebacker stop, feels that zone out, gets his eyes around. Dillon Gabriel does a great job here delivering this football. You watch the pocket. Joe Bitonio gets driven right into Dillon's lap. Does a great job delivering that ball there. So, give Dillon his credit for that throw for sure. That's a really nice throw. Right on the money. And Cedric Tillman catches. Gets some nice extension after that. Like, you watch these clips of Cedric Tillman and you're like, man, this guy's a good wide receiver. You see how the Browns offense, albeit hasn't been great, looks different when he's out there, and you're saying to yourself, like, this guy can be good. But then you remember all the drops, all the miscommunication plays, the inconsistency, the fact that he's never really reliably on the field. Again, it reminds me of early David Njoku. I watch Cedric Tillman and I say to myself, there could be a Pro Bowl player in there somewhere. It's just how much are you going to have to work to get it out of him? How much are we going to have to get right around him to get it out of there? But there is something there for sure. And if you've ever seen Cedric Tillman in person, he is a big guy, like a huge guy. So he's exactly what the Browns need at the wide receiver position. This is now with Shedeur in the game, 3rd quarter. Where is Cedric Tillman? At the bottom of your screen. Again, this is just attacking the cushion right here of Nate Wiggins and then just setting up. So good job there. Nothing really special there. And then for whatever reason, he only gets another target in this game. This one right here. Yeah, he wasn't used much when Shedeur was on the field for whatever reason. I don't know if it's an injury. I think it was something like leg related. Hopefully he's going to be back at practice. He sets up tight here, blocks, and then for whatever reason, Shedeur throws this ball to him when the ball should have went to David. We talked about this on our Shedeur breakdown. Bad decision. So yeah, that's Cedric Tillman's targets the last couple of games. I think there is a good wide receiver in there. I think it's going to be frustrating to get to that point. I've heard people bring up like names like Greg Little, and this could certainly be Greg Little. But I do think this could go in the David Njoku direction where you wait, you're patient, you develop this guy, he becomes a Pro Bowler. And he becomes a critical piece to what you're doing, especially a team that, and this is a team in the Cleveland Browns, can't really afford to throw promising wide receivers out to the wayside, right? Like Cedric Tillman, it might be a hot take. I think he has a ton of promise. I think it's real easy to be out on him because it's kind of popular to be out on him and shit on him like the rest of the wide receivers. But when I watch him play, I see consistent promise. The problem is there's not consistency to his availability. And that's the biggest thing for him. And there's not consistency to the offensive line play he's dealing with, which matters if you're a wide receiver who goes down the field. There's not consistency to the quarterback play he's getting, which, hey, look, when Dillon Gabriel gave him 2 of the best balls that Dillon Gabriel has thrown all year, he's really good, right? The wide receiver play was really good there. We'll see what happens this week if he plays, but there's something there with Cedric Tillman. I just don't know if we're going to get to it in time. We'll see. Y'all have a great day. Have an even better night. Peace.